Welcome back, everybody. So we've decided to do a video on kind of an everyday, well, not an everyday carry, more of a going out in the woods, because you wouldn't necessarily put this on a dog every day. But if you're going out into the woods, the theory behind it was, you know, we don't particularly want to be carrying everything for everybody as well as your dog, so the dog can carry their own gear. They have all the things that they're going to need, plus you know where all the dog gear is because it's on the dog. And also, if you need some kind of get out of jail, you know, you lose your bag or whatever, you can call the dog back and you can get a light and things like that to kind of help you kind of with a bit of survival as well. All you got to do is whistle to Fido, he comes running back, big bang bosh, you got your kit back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the contents of this bag after the intro. So if you stick with us, and we should be back shortly.
Okay, you're back with Jason and Jon. I've got no idea what's in this bag. I'm essentially here for moral support. Jon packed the bag, so we'll get into it and I'll chime in where I can.
Okay, so I'm going to start. First of all, the pack is from Ruffwear, and it's the Palisades pack. They come in a different number of sizes, so you've got kind of your extra smalls up to your extra larges. The quality of it is excellent, waterproof. All the zips are kind of lined with that kind of waterproof lining on them. So all your gear is going to be kind of kept dry, but also I think if you take off the bag parts of this pack, you're then left with kind of like your webmaster type harness on there as well. So kind of good value for money because you've got two kind of items there, but real good quality. The top part where it sits over the dog is kind of meshed, so it's not going to kind of overheat your dog. Also comes with a nice kind of clip there, so you can clip on with a lead. What I've done, so if we go on the outside first, but I've popped on a Phoenix light here, which is the CL05, and if you just turn that, then you can kind of get all the different colours. So if you're out in the woods, you might just want to leave the red light on there so you can see your dog. And so just a nice little kind of feature there that we can clip onto the dog. I will let Jason open up one of the pockets there. So
Okay, let's see what's my door number one. I'm going in this side. Medkit.
Yeah, so medkits for dogs are slightly different. I mean, if you think, you know, the dangers out in the woods, you've got potentially kind of wild boar, or you might have some barbed wire that's kind of out and about. So ideally, what you're going to want us to be doing is strapping up a dog. Remember, dogs have got more hair than humans, so tapes and things like that and all that type of stuff be a bit more difficult to stick. But the key thing would be to kind of obviously stop bleeding. So that's going to be kind of strapping things up. So we've got
start loading now.
Yeah, just stop one of that.
Very nice.
This, if you so
bandages. Yeah.
So this is for kind of like hard spots on the dogs. So a lot of the dogs that we've brought in from Tenerife, they're usually kind of led out on hard ground. So this kind of helps with kind of those hard spots that build up a bit of hard skin on the elbows most of the time. So that's just a bit of ointment for them.
This is clove oil.
Clove oil, again, like I said, we kind of cater for ourselves as well, but you know, if the dog got a bit of toothache or whatever, I don't know, you could stick a bit of clove oil on, or equally for yourself.
Oh, we've got all sorts actually. Okay.
So some of it, like I said, is for humans, so it's not just for the dogs. You've got hand warmers there as well, or for like a heat pad for the dog if you put it under some leaves, keep the dog warm in the cold weather. If you're dealing with the dog, you obviously want to kind of stick some rubber gloves on rather than getting blood all over yourself. And again, just some bandages for yourself if you're out and about and you get in some bother. This medical kit's mostly just purely for kind of just quickly stopping bleeding, just so you can get back to your normal pack and get yourself assessed. So that's that.
Hop in the other side.
So on the other side, we've got things like lighters, which we'll show you the uses that that's going to come into later. I've got some cable ties and a pen.
I've spotted my favourite bit of the pack already.
Some sweets.
Yeah, gummy bears. Morale gummy bears.
So, and a spare battery. So the lighters will come into use a bit later on. So we've decided that if all failed and we were just out with a dog, your dog could be carrying all your, essential things you might need for kind of a couple of nights out in the woods. So this is going to be good for kind of fire building, lighting the fire, and then also kind of lighting up your stoves and things like that, which we will get into shortly. I want to just, so clips on here as well. You've got some molly capability on the tops of the bags as well, which you can clip things onto, add some extra pouches as well, which is kind of quite handy. You might want to stick on, something that might not fit in this bag. So, I don't know, like a life jacket for the dog or something that's going to be a bit bulky, not too heavy, but you can clip on. But what I've decided to do is, although we've got this light, if the battery all of a sudden ran out on that, what I've got, and I love this light, it's a Next Torch light. It's rechargeable as well, so you've got the little mini USB port there, but nice little light on a kind of a carabiner pull-out that you can, so you're never going to lose the light, and you can find anything that's in your bag here, which I thought was quite a useful little feature on to add to the bag. Obviously colour coded in red, unlike Jason's bag, which is just chucked together.
There's definitely thought gone into this. Can't say the same for my bags. Ah, cool. Handy bits. So, I know what they are. Dog brush. Always good to keep your dog nice and groomed, especially if you're out and about with those little, sticky ball things.
Yeah.
Absolutely drive my dogs nuts. A little leash.
This is good for kind of, obviously, I've put two in here. There's one, the shorter one, and so plus if you've got two dogs out, then ideal, especially in the camp, if you've got kind of quite aggressive dogs or dogs you don't really want running about, then if you've got children there and you've got this dog here for more defence purposes, then these are ideal for clipping to a tree, wrapping round, and then clipping it onto the dog's lead.
It's good their thing as well. Metal
collar, I should say. So there's a
stop them chewing
dog.
it.
I've done a dog competition before, and I've had a rope one of these just with the lead clipped on. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, the dog's come bolting over because he's chewed through the lead. So they're not going to chew through that.
Food bags?
Yep.
Food bags. What's this?
So if you're lost, out and about, then got a bit of a GPS
Great idea.
system there.
Yeah. Walk ladder feeds from the pack.
Yeah.
I think these come included, don't they?
That comes included with the pack, yeah. So none of this comes included apart from that.
Yeah.
What we've decided to do is to obviously kind of filter our own water. just some information that we've put on a little USB port there. So kind of all the information about the dog. You never know, somebody could stop you about the dog, police could stop you. So I've got everything on there. I've got pedigrees, I've got kind of all the medical needs, all the things that who I vet with, even all the information about myself as well. So and where to return the dog, phone numbers.
Deodorant.
Bit of deodorant for yourself, obviously not for the dog. It's a natural salt of the earth deodorant. No, they are actually antibiotics for the dog. So if the dog took a nasty cut, you don't want to get infected, then you can use some of that for the dog. I don't know what that is either, actually.
A surprise. Little.
So we've got tick removers. Yeah. So I've put in here a worming kit. This is the Advocate one, which I highly recommend. A lot of my friends' dogs have died from heartworm, where the worm gets into the heart and it will then pretty much die once you put this on and cure the dog of that heartworm, because what happens is they die inside the heart. As it's kind of coming out, it kind of clots up the heart and just stops it from beating. So I always alternate between like the front line and this, because the only thing it doesn't do is the tapeworm. So I go 1 month this, 1 month the other, so they wouldn't build up enough for that. So
that's what you do with that as well.
Yeah. I don't even know what the hell that is. Oh, eye ointment. Yeah, I had a problem with one of the dogs with a bad eye, and I think it got scratched in the eye. So I got some of that left over, which is pretty good. The tick remover, just some antiseptic wipes. I've got some hardcore thread just in case you need to, probably more for kind of stitching up if this got damaged or any of your trousers. I've got some knitting needles inside there as well, with some string already attached to it, and some safety pins.
That's something I should add to my bag, actually. Damn handy. It's like Christmas here.
Yeah, so one thing, if you're like surviving out in the woods and your dog's not kind of kept together with his worming, any food that you're going to be giving him, then that dog's going to struggle to kind of take anything in if he's got riddled with worms. So, key. Water for cleaning out eyes, any wounds, even to yourself. Definitely not for drinking.
I don't know what this is.
That's actually a tape measure. So a lot of people always ask me to measure my dog, certainly if I'm selling pups, or how big is the adult, or this, that, the other. So I always keep it in this kit just so that I can, I know where it is, and equally you may need it for whatever purpose you need it for. So
candles. Always handy.
Yep.
Another dressing?
No, that's a portable poncho for yourself. So we've got a dog coat in there for the dog also, but we've also got one for ourselves. It starts peeing down the rain, which is on this side. Is that side empty?
Yeah. Yep.
So coming over the other side then, I mentioned this first. We've got poncho for ourselves that Jason just showed you, then a red raincoat by Ruffwear. So keep the dog dry, don't need much description to that. Real lightweight, folds up nice. Also a track jacket, so if you want to keep a check on your dog whilst running around, nice reflective jacket, which I believe is also waterproof. And then coming on to more of like the survival thing. So I rate this so much, so light, easy to pack up. A lot of the other pots that I've used in the past, like the zebra pots, the lids are just a pain in the ass, always coming off, all the contents inside come out. With this one, the actual handle that folds down actually folds back up and seals the lid. So, as you can see, everything inside is not going to fall out. I've not loaded it up, but normally I'll keep some extra things inside this. So could be things like some coffee. In fact, the reason it's not is because I took it out.
But that's 1 minute ago.
If I just show you this comes from America. I buy this in from Whole Foods. I'm actually trying to source some for ourselves to put in the store, but this stuff is brilliant. So it's just like a concentrated coffee. Come in loads of different flavors. I think it's Colombian, vanilla,
caramel latte.
Caramel,
yeah,
not latte, but
caramel coffee. Yeah,
probably 3 squirts of this, and you make yourself some coffee with some hot water. And if you want milk, then you can have that in. But that fits nicely in there. You can put then maybe some sweeteners or sugar inside there as well. This is made by Stanley, and I believe it's called the Adventure Cook Set, or Cook Pot. Comes with some plastic, 2 plastic cups. You and your mate can share a cup of coffee. So that's that.
Sold up. That's SAS Survival Handbook. Make a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And you've sorted your final water and somewhere to sit down.
Exactly. I've put in there as well the new BCB folding stove, which they've just introduced, and it's a lot more rugged than some of the other ones.
Old Hexes.
It's quite flimsy, but you can store 3 of the Fire Dragon gels that go in there, which I use this on the weekend, so this does get used. I made myself a cup of coffee whilst the dog ran around. So I believe the gels last about, for me to boil up the water that was up to here, which made 2 cups of coffee, took me 1.5. So each one lasts about 6 to 5 minutes, and this takes about, if you keep the lid on, takes about 8 minutes to boil. So bear that in mind when I always keep quite a few others as well in the pack, because you do go through them. This is only for like if you want to quickly stop off, make a quick fire, and then move on again. But if you were going to kind of make a base, then you could light a proper fire. Yeah. Then these things, when I went to America, I bought a dog there. Everybody used these, which is the slip knot leads. So you can, what they do is they kind of, where this goes around the neck of the dog, so it leashes like that. What they do is they kind of open it right up, and then they sling it over the shoulder. And they've always got a dog lead on them because you never know when you need it. And then if you have to run back to the dog to go get the lead, you know you've always got it around your shoulder. So I've chosen to use this rather than the conventional clip onto a lead. But I would also have the lead that I would be using for the dog. But this is just a backup one. You know, let's face it, another dog could run out onto camp, and you need to kind of quickly lasso this around the dog's neck and hang it up. If it was, I don't mean that in terms of hang it and kill it.
Yeah.
Lift the dog up so that it can't be, certainly if they're biting onto another dog, then that's always a good way of, separating a dog. So just for those people out there, I think are dogs.
Just casually hands on.
Antibacterial powder. This is great just for clotting up bleeding, because dogs' the skin's a little bit different to humans, where it's a lot thicker, and it does need a bit of certainly the bacteria that can get into it. So before you wrap them up, always chuck a bit of this in, so it gets rid of all the, and certainly with a dog, the bites with the teeth can cause infection. I've got a handy little knife sharpener as well in there, which I keep because we keep a knife in here as well, just in case you need to kind of do any tasks, or if you need to release the dog from being caught up somewhere maybe. I've also got a millbank bag, so if we were to look at filtering water, I could. If there's like a pond with some kind of dirty water or leafed up water, you scoop that up. Not a lot of people carry these, but flipping great bit of kit. And you hang that up, and then the water then will then drip out of here. You can catch the water, and that filters out the water nicely.
Just get all big lumps and just boil it up on your little stove and you set.
Does this come with 2 of these?
Yeah, I think one each side.
Yeah, because you've actually, if you look on here, you've actually got a separated pouch there that probably where the water would be kept if you were keeping the water in this. That's pretty cool. This is what I would keep in here, but made by Sig. I absolutely love this.
The wicked taste.
These your cutlery set, it all opens up, but good thing about it is that these slide off, so you can detach it. You've got knife, fork, spoon that all detaches.
Proper sized as well.
Yeah, and just even the knife is like a pen knife. It's a decent knife, isn't it?
Yeah.
It comes with a nice sheath as well.
I think I've got.
That's me empty there. You've got a side.
A little bottom pocket or something somewhere.
It should be that one there, yeah. So,
here we go. Not mass mountain.
So
I'll let you talk through your torch if you want.
So this one is you're correct. Well, why don't you talk about it?
I'll try and remember. I did the listing, but I'll try and remember. Pretty sure this one. It does the white. Yeah, TK15. Yeah, TK15C. This one will do green light, so you won't disturb any wildlife. Red light, if you want to go sneaky beaky. So if you're using red light, it I'm pretty sure it doesn't travel as far or something. There's some logic behind it. Then you've got your normal light. I can't remember the lumens on this. I have a feeling it's one of the 650
It grows really far, if you remember rightly. It's actually the lumens. People get confused by lumens.
Nice spread.
And it's only 450 lumens. Compared to and I've used this against the UC30, which is 1,000 lumens, or 950. And this one actually shows a brighter light than the UC30, in my opinion, because it has a bit of more of a concentrated beam, so the reflectors in there are just different. So regardless of the lumens, this one is designed to throw much further. So you've got a real kind of concentrated beam on there. I love that light. It's great.
I think that's it on my side.
On that side, yeah. And then so on this side, I've got stuff that kind of supports that. So we've got like the wires for charging. We've also got, and I normally keep the battery charger for that as well. But I'm just charging the battery up at the moment. But it comes with a separate battery charger. If we just look in here, they actually come with a bit of a different.
That's the CR something, isn't it? Yeah. I know the APB.
Can't remember the name of the.
That's the up top there. ARB.
Yeah. Anyway, they're not your usual UK batteries like your AA's and things. So that does actually need you don't have a charge point like on some of the rechargeable lights. So this does require a little base that you put the battery into and charge it back up. So just be aware of that if you're looking at purchasing more of these.
That's a fantastic idea. With the Molly on the top, you could put your Gold Zero along and just charge it. And if you had the rechargeable ones, just let the dog charge. Charge the same torch.
Cool. And then we have an expedition knife. So we've got capability then of doing any small tasks with this. I've then got the Leatherman Sidekick. This is. So this comes with like pliers and then all your usual knife, saw, screwdriver, bottle opener, all that kind of stuff. But I opted for it just for the pliers side of it. Okay, so we've come close to the end of the video. We've showed you all the items that are in the bag that we use for the dog. So if anybody wants to comment on their opinions on the bag and equally things that they might take out or add, then please let us know below. I think Jason wanted to say something over about Ruffwear.
Yeah, we've recently started adding kind of more Ruffwear bits and bobs to our site. So if there's any of their products or any similar products that you think would be worth us taking a look at, let us know, and we'll give them a test out and maybe get them up on the site as well. Something I'll mention because otherwise you'll have someone in the comments. You've got to match your pack loadout to the dog. So obviously, if I put this on my miniature schnauzer, it'd probably be dragging his belly along the ground. But with a bigger dog, Alsatians, like Mastiff type breeds, this is an absolute breeze for them.
So if you kind of enjoyed the video, then please subscribe and like the video. The next item that we're going to be looking at doing, seeing as we were kind of showing you the mini stove, the fold-out stove from BCB, we were busy on the weekend designing the pouch that holds that, and this matches up with the F1 Falk Niven knife sheath that we put together. So this is a match-up. This clips on the belt, so if it turns that over, it's got kind of a quick release.
Always like that. Save you undoing your belt every 5 minutes.
And we've loaded up. So you've got 2 compartments here. As you can see, inside there that fits that nice and snug. You've then got lighters and things. You could probably put some extra of the Fire Dragon capsules in there, even though you can carry 3. You're always going to need a couple more. So we're going to run through that next. So have a little look in the link down below. We will kind of add that to it so that you can look at the video for reviewing this. And we shall see you again soon.
Yeah, cheers guys.